Welcome, welcome to Facebook for Business Advanced. We have a lot to talk about tonight, so I'm going to try to get started quickly, but I need to go over a few housekeeping things first. For those of you who may be familiar with Zoom meetings, but not webinars, webinar is a little different in that I cannot see or hear you. Only my mic and camera are live. So your only way of interacting with me is through the chat. And on that, please make sure you change the to field to all panelists and attendees so that everybody, not just me, can see what you're saying and you guys can talk to one another and share tips and advice. You're also welcome to use the question and answer tab. I have them both here next to me and I will be checking on them and answering questions as I go. So please feel free to use the Q&A tab or the chat feature, whatever is most comfortable for you, and I'll answer questions as I go. I do have it set up where I can actually pull Facebook up and show you guys where things are. So if you need anything explained in a different way or explained slower or again, please let me know. I will be happy to pull those up. So on that note, like I said, we have a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. First off, just a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about. This just gives you a good picture. As I said, we have a lot to talk about. There's so much you can do with Facebook if you just know where to look and where to find the tools. So getting into those, first up is a few general tips from me. Let me move my face a little bit. Figure out what sets you apart from your competition and play off that. I mentioned this in the intro class too, but it is so important. It bears repeating. Your business is different than every other business out there. Even if you do the exact same thing someone else in the world does, you're in business for yourself and not an employee of them because you're doing it differently. You have a different way of connecting with your audience. You have different priorities. You have a different personality. You know, what is it that makes you special from anyone else I could go to? Your Facebook page should reflect that. If you're the most friendly and outgoing, if you're the most understanding, you like making people laugh, you care about people as individuals, whatever it is that makes you different, you should be highlighting that. One of the biggest mistakes you can make with your Facebook page is to be trying to appeal to everybody and therefore coming off as very generic and like everybody else. There's just nothing appealing or captivating in being generic. So be yourself. Or even if your company like Goosefoot, it's not me. I'm not the entire company, even though I'm the person who runs the social media. But our personality of Goosefoot is that we're welcoming, we're friendly, we don't take ourselves too seriously. So those are the kinds of things I try to project when I'm typing up posts, when I'm choosing images to use. So there's a lot of advice out there you can find that'll help you find your voice, but honestly, at the end of the day, you just have to experiment. On that note, have a plan and a goal. You need to know what it is you actually want to achieve with your Facebook page. If you're just doing it because you should and everybody does it, you're going to get bored very quickly or discouraged. Your audience is going to get bored of you. So figure out what it is you actually want to do with Facebook. Do you want to grow awareness to let more people know that you exist? Do you want to connect with people on a better level? Do you want to increase your sales? What is it that you actually want from your Facebook page? You should be planning around that. If you want to connect with people better, how are you going to do that? Are you going to create more interactive posts? Are you going to film videos? Are you going to encourage people to go message you in chat? What is it that you actually want people to do when they go to your Facebook page? Apologies, I just bumped my mic. Make sure when you're crafting your posts, you help, you don't sell. So what I mean by that is nobody goes online to be sold at. That is not what we're there for. You're going to lose people. They're going to get bored and they're going to leave pretty quickly. You don't just want all of your posts to be, hey, new product out. Hey, 50% off. Hey, blah, 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 blah. That's not what people are there for. People go online to be informed, entertained, distracted, so help with one of those things. Obviously, depending on what your business is, you can't do all of those things. But I guarantee you, one, you know a lot more than other people do about your business or your company. And two, you're funny. A lot of you guys have incredible senses of humor. You're really great people. Use that to connect with the people that are following your page. Make sure that you are being responsive to people. If somebody takes time out of their day to send you a message or leave a nice comment or review your business, these are all things that help your business. It's all goes into the great algorithm that runs Facebook's feed, and it tells Facebook, yes, this post is interesting and worthwhile, and you should show it to more people. So when people do that, thank them for it, respond to them. It encourages them to continue doing it, which will continue helping your business. And people will see that you're reactive, that you interact with people, and people who hadn't been reacting with you before are going to start. So make sure you're responsive whenever stuff comes in. Obviously, it's not going to come in all the time. It's a slow process to build it up, but make sure you're responsive whenever it does happen. Just keep in mind that the first word of social media is social. It's not you standing on a soapbox and shouting into the void. It's not, hey, everybody, you have to listen to me because this is my page. It is a social dialogue. It is a tool that is meant to bring people together. So keep in mind that people are people. And on that note, then you'll see my next point is followers are people too. This sounds like an incredibly stupid thing to say, but it's something that a lot of businesses need reminding of. A lot of businesses are chasing the numbers. How many followers should I have? How many likes do I have? Why isn't that number higher? What do I do to get the number higher? But it's not about the number. It's about the people behind it. You could have 50,000 people who like your page, but because no one is interacting with you, because no one is liking your posts or sharing them, you're getting maybe five eyeballs on the entire thing. You need to remember that they're people, that you need to offer them something of worth, that you need to thank them for spending time with you, and that will help you grow the engagement. Your numbers don't matter. How you interact with people and how they interact with you is what really matters. And to grow a good Facebook page, it takes time, consistency, and work. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to, watch this 2-hour workshop and then walk out of here a Facebook master. That's not how anything works. You need to give yourself time to get comfortable on the platform so that your personality can shine through. You need to give yourself time to learn the skills in order to use it really well. You need to give people time to know that you're there and that they can get, something of value out of you. You need to do it consistently. I don't care what consistent looks like for you. This could be every day. This could be once a week. This could be once a month. As long as you're posting in the same kind of time frame, I post at 7 p.m. every day, or I post on the second Wednesday of every month. That consistency lets people know, hey, I can expect something out of them at this time. So therefore, I'm going to get in the habit of checking on their page to make sure I don't miss it. Habits are very difficult to build when it's not consistent. And anybody who's trained a pet knows that. And you have to put in the work. You already are a step ahead by coming to this workshop, all 10 of you. But there's so much more out there. You can read, you can experiment. And like I said, you're not going to be a master overnight. So you need to give yourself time to play with it and to figure out how everything works together. You can ask Marion in the chat. A lot of my time card throughout the year goes into me just watching other workshops and seeing how it works. I read articles to stay up to date. I poke around on the site itself to see what people are talking about and how they're using it. I use all of these tools to keep me up to date on what's going on these platforms One, so that I can do a better job at running these workshops, but also so that I can do a better job running our own social media platform. So you give yourself that permission to have the time, consistency, and work. Social media is not frivolous. You're not wasting time on the platform unless you're not trying to take anything in and see how it works. Reviews are super important for any sort of page. That's how people know you're trustworthy. That's how people know that you exist. Good reviews help boost a page higher up in the rankings and on Google and other search engines. So because of that, don't be afraid to ask people to leave reviews for your business. It is totally within the terms of service on both Facebook and Google to remind people, hey, if you enjoyed this experience, please go leave a review. It helps us and it helps other people. There's so many studies out there that show people don't necessarily trust companies because they know you're just trying to get their money, but they trust other people, even if they've never met them before. So you get those other people's advice from reviews, so encourage people to do it. You can encourage it in person. If you send out receipts or print them out, it can be on the receipt. You can send a follow-up email. You could, from time to time, just make a post reminding people that reviews help. If they don't want to, they won't, and that'll be that. But a lot of people genuinely don't mind leaving reviews. They just forget, oh yeah, that's a thing I could do. So don't be afraid to remind them. And I have a lot of questions about this, so I'll address it up front. Facebook is a pay-to-play platform. Obviously, it's completely free to start a Facebook page. At this time, they're never going to charge you to start up your business's page. But to get eyeballs, it's not just about getting likes anymore. As I mentioned earlier, Goosefoot's page, we have over 1,200 followers, but we get, I don't know, for the ones we don't boost, we get maybe 30 eyes on it, maybe. Because of how Facebook works, it's their business model, both to reach new people and to reach the people who already follow you but may not be seeing your stuff anymore. You do occasionally need to drop some money into advertising. It doesn't have to be a lot. We've seen fantastic results with $5 ads, but I'm going to be honest with you. I've not seen any successful pages that don't pay Facebook anything. So just to dispel that up front, it is a little bit pay to play. Unfortunately, that's just how their business model works. So first tip of the day that you guys might not already know is you can request people be a see first fan. So what that means is if they go on your page, there's the like button, obviously. The next button over is following. And if they click the little drop down arrow on that, this menu that you see on screen will appear. And obviously unfollow the page is the first option, but the very next option is see first. So what that means is if somebody has clicked see first on your page, your recent post is always going to be at the top of their feed every time they come back to Facebook. If they haven't seen your recent post, it is always going to be at the top of the feed. It's really great for your really most dedicated fans who really don't want to miss anything from you. But people don't know that this is a thing. So you could take a screenshot like this I've got on this slide. You can show, or maybe even screen capture your computer and walk people through how to get to this point. You can show people how to do it, or you could run a contest and say, hey, become a See First fan, comment below, and we'll enter you into a random drawing. That would be totally fine. Totally within Facebook's rules and regulations. However, you can only have one see first page. That's how first works. So, don't you run out and try to see first a bunch of pages. Pick one that you're really dedicated to and mark it as see first. Or you could do it with your own page if you want to see your own content at the top of your feed if you wanted to. But encourage people to use this see first function. It's such a cool thing for pages that you're really interested in, that you don't want to miss what they're saying. And yet, because it's under that following menu, so many people miss it. It's such an underutilized tool. So, encourage people to become See First fans. So, cover photos. I talked about this a little bit in the intro to Facebook, but I know not all of you guys were there, and unfortunately I did not record it. So we're going to talk a little bit about cover photos. Cover photos is the giant rectangular image at the top of your page whenever somebody first goes to it, actually goes to it at any time. Obviously you can't see someone's cover photo in your main regular feed, but when you go to their page, it's right front and center. Because of that, you should treat it as your own personal billboard. One of the biggest mistakes I see small businesses make is their cover photo is just their storefront, and that's such a boring waste of space. It's okay to do it occasionally, especially if you're one of those businesses who makes really cool window displays that are topical. But the biggest point is that you should change that cover photo frequently. Whether that's, seasonally, quarterly, monthly, whatever works best for you. Anytime you have a new special or event coming up, anytime there's a new product release, anytime there's something big you want people to know about, you should make that your cover photo. If you go to Goosefoot's Facebook page right now, our cover photo is Earth and Ocean Month because it's April and it's Earth and Ocean Month. We might change it to something about health and safety and how we care about the community. We're looking at some online events. We might promote those. We've done ones for the Giving Tree and street dances. But even between those, when there's no big events going on, we will still talk about this is how Goosefoot works, or here's our community and we love you. There's so much stuff you could highlight in your cover photo that just putting one up there and leaving it forever is such a waste. If, like some folks, you can't pick just one cover photo, never fear, you can always make a slideshow. So it'll be multiple images that'll cycle through. I Love Langley does this constantly. I think they just can't pick one picture, and it will cycle through the 10 or so pictures that they've picked. Or if you have the technical skills to do a video, you can do a cover video. Now this video auto plays without any sound. So like with most Facebook videos, make sure it works, it makes sense without sound. But it's, right there at the top and nothing stopping you from it being a moving image. So I've got a couple of examples here. Let me click so that it'll actually start animating. You can see, Papa John's has their current big sales special that they're advertising. And again, that gets changed out pretty regularly. I have I Love Langley's here. You can see they have 4, this is from back in Halloween when I recorded this, 4 slideshow images that just cycle through between them whenever you're sitting on the page. If you put your mouse over it, it'll actually stop. And there are little side arrows here that you can actually click to go through faster. So there's control for people who are looking at it, but nothing stopping you from using multiple images. And then this one that was playing earlier, this is a university's and it's a cover video. So as soon as you go to their site or their Facebook page, sorry, this is right at the top and it's auto playing and it's showing off the campus. So, there's so many creative things you can do with your cover image. Play with it. And I will say a lot of people always ask me, well, why don't you put the cover image dimensions up here? Facebook changes those constantly. They tweak them over and over. So that's why I don't put it in here because I'd have to update it every single time. I myself, when I'm making a new cover image, I will actually Google current Facebook cover image size just so I get the right dimensions. And it can be even trickier because on mobile, it is wider, but it's not quite as tall. Whereas on desktop, it's taller, but it's not quite as wide. So if I have any text right up against any of those edges, if I've designed it for desktop, it's going to get cut off on mobile. And if I've designed it for mobile, it gets cut off on desktop. So you got to play with it a little bit. If you know the margins, there's some really good guides out there that show you the margins for, shoot for your cover image to be this big, but don't have anything in these red dotted areas. Canva, if you don't have any editing experience, canva.com is a tool. They have some paid accounts, but you can also use it for free. They have really great cover image makers, so feel free to use that. Or if you really want to go low tech, like I don't want to fuss with photo editing at all, you can always just upload an image, whatever size it is, and then just kind of drag and drop it once you've got it up into the uploader. So cover images are pretty easy. You all, from what I've seen of your pages, you all use cover images. I just want you to think outside the box and to change it up. So types of posts. We talked about this a little bit with the intro class, but again, not all of you were there. You could make a post about almost anything on Facebook. Nothing is really stopping you, but I've broken them down into some pretty popular categories. Obviously, sales is the one people's brain goes through most. Buy this product, sign up for this class, attend this retreat, whatever it is that you sell. You can make posts about that occasionally. I would not make that your focus. As I said, nobody goes online to be sold at. And if that is all of your content, you're going to drive people away pretty quickly. That being said, you don't have to avoid it 100% of the time. People are aware that you're a business and that you need to make money. They're following your page because they like your products or your services. They want to support you. So absolutely tell people how they can do so when it comes up. Just don't solely fixate on that. You can also do interactive posts. So these are posts calling for people to interact with the post, whether that is a poll, whether that is a question, and you're encouraging people to guess the answer in the comments, or leave any sort of comment, leave their own stories, leave their own questions, whatever it may be. You're encouraging them to put something down below in the comments. Or you can also ask people to create user-generated content. So what this means is somebody not affiliated with your company or your organization is creating posts about you. They are taking pictures, they're making a video, they might just make a text post explaining either a good interaction they had or showing off something that they bought from you that they really like. Whatever it is, this is really nice when it happens for your business because one, it encourages that connection. It's showing Facebook, hey, people outside this organization like my organization. You should show it to more people. Two, you can share people's stuff if you feel like you can ask them for permission, but if it's public, they've already consented to it being shared. But share it on your own page. And one, now that's a post you didn't have to create. That saves me some time. And two, it makes the person who made it feel better and makes them want to make more posts about you or your product. And three, it encourages other people to do the same because they also like to be acknowledged for their thoughts, their opinions, their likes. You can also do behind the scenes content. So show people your stock room, show people how you make the decisions that are really important to your business. Show people the planning process you're going through. Are you designing a new logo? Are you, creating new packaging? Are you working out a series of workshops and you're trying to decide A or B? Is there somebody you regularly meet with to strategize about your business? What is it that makes your company or your organization tick? Don't be afraid to show people that. People love to know how the sausage is made. You can see it in how many TV shows there are, like how it's made. So don't be afraid to show that to people online. Make those posts, make the videos. Some of our most popular content on Goosefoot is when we show off the staff or their pets, because it's the people who make the organization, and that's what gets people excited. If you've got a product or a service that could be used in a really creative way, you do create a product use suggestions post. I talked about this a little bit in the intro class, but Oreo is a great example of this. If you go look at the Oreo Facebook page, it's not just, hey, here's the new flavor and here's our website every single time. It's, hey, here's some game you can play with the kids using Oreos, or here's a recipe for Oreo cake pops, or here's somebody made Oreo art. There's so many wild things you can do with something that people might not think about. So if there is something, that you would like to see people doing, a feature that when you tell people in person about it and they go, oh, wow, I didn't know it could do that. Don't be afraid to turn that into a post. Some of the most popular, most viral content I've seen are things like people made a video about like 30 ways to tie a shoe, and they're really cool different patterns. So don't be afraid to share that content with people on the internet as well. You can also do cross promotion. So your page does not have to be about you and your business all of the time. You can talk about others around you. You can talk about businesses that you personally love or are excited about. You can talk about people you work closely with. You can talk about your neighbors, because, as the saying goes, a rising tide lifts all boats. And that is so true for social media as well. We are a community, and so many business pages here don't reflect that. It's like they're a community of one. It's them and their customers, and that's it. But that isn't how you live your life in the real world. So why is that how you live your life online? You depend on other businesses to, give your customers what you don't. You depend on other businesses to supply you with things. You go places for fun and for entertainment. Don't be afraid to share that with your audience, because if they like the thing that you clearly like enough to have made a business around, they'll probably like some other stuff that you like as well. So don't be afraid to cross promote each other. It would be really great if some of you in this class today got together and, started working together and really started cross promoting what, you each are doing. You can also promote events, whether they are your own or ones you're just going to. People love that super nice calendar style event where it's got a picture, title, date and time, description, maybe it has a ticket link, whatever. It's a format that is specific just to events. A few of you replied to the one for this class on Facebook. So talk about your events that you're going to, that you're hosting, anything like that. And event posts, I can actually get probably at least 5 posts out of a single event, if not more. I can make a save the date post. I can make a reminder post a week out or a day out that, hey, this is coming up. I can make a post during the event itself talking about, look what a great time we're having. I can do a wrap up post of like, thanks everyone for coming. Here's all of the best pictures and videos that we managed to capture. I can do posts afterwards, such as surveys, asking people, what we should do next or what we could do better. I can make posts about the next stuff coming up. So don't be afraid. Don't think, okay, I already talked about this, I can't talk about it anymore, because that's just not true. If you're going to a conference, talk about what goes into that for you. What does your prep look like? How do you pack? What do you bring with you? How do you make connections? Who did you meet while you were there? What did you get into? And when you get back, do a wrap-up post of, here's my thoughts, here's what I learned, here's why I'm glad I went, or why I'm not going to go in the future, whatever that is. Just don't be afraid to talk about the events you're going to or that you're involved in. You can definitely also make personal kind of posts. So, for a lot of you, especially a lot of you I see in the chat here, you are your business. There's no separation between the person you are and who somebody sees when they come into your business, when they do business with you. So don't be afraid to talk about how you're doing, what you're up to, what your aspirations are. Did you have a good day? Tell people that. Did you see a funny dog or a squirrel? Take a picture. Did you get up early to go check out a really pretty sunset? Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be about business all of the time. You matter. And the people who support you enough to have followed your page and regularly interact with you, they care about you. So you're not bothering anyone by talking about yourself. Let's see, Victoria asked, you mentioned it would be cool if those on this program could meet and share, cross promote. How can I find out who's on this Zoom? I don't know if you guys can see the attendee list. I haven't attended a Zoom workshop, so I don't know what's available to you guys. But we also, Goosefoot has made a, can't see the list, darn. You guys can always talk together in the chat so you guys can see each other's names. But also Goosefoot has made a web forum where people could go and make text posts in a lot of different categories. With the blur of daily classes the last couple of weeks, I've unfortunately not been sending out invites, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. A good chunk of my time tomorrow is going to be inviting everybody to this online forum. It's a tool that exists there so you can connect to everybody, you can share advice, you can share your thoughts, you can ask questions. It hasn't been used really, but it's a tool that exists, and I hope you guys go use it after this. Right now, it's showing me there are 12 people here. So, back to the types of posts. You can share stories, whether that's your story of how you got into the business or how you make the decisions you do for your business, whether that's the stories of the customers or people you serve. This can be some of the most engaging content that a nonprofit can post about who you serve, their struggles, their achievements. But businesses could do that too. You guys impact people's lives. Obviously, not all of you can share everything. There's certain confidentialities some of your businesses have to deal with. Some customers might not want their story to be shared, but it never hurts to ask people. If someone sends you a really nice message of like, oh my God, thanks so much for this. This helped me in a huge way. Ask them, hey, do you mind if I share this? When things clear up again, you could always invite people that you know that have good things to say about you. Invite them down to your shop, set them in front of a camera, even if it's just your camera phone, and ask them questions about, who they are and what they have to say about your business and their story. You can absolutely share stories. And hey, even if you don't want to wait that long, you're like, I don't want to wait until this clears up. You can absolutely use tools like Zoom or Skype, and you can record people from the comfort of their home as well. So don't be afraid to share stories, whether that is in video, text, pictures, whatever. And then very occasionally, you can share viral content as well. These are the, text on top of an image or the video that's got thousands of likes and shares. You can share those to your business page as well. I would caution against relying on these too heavily because they're viral, which means everybody's seen it and you're going to bore people pretty quickly. But if something resonates with you or your audience and it's funny, don't be afraid to share it to your page every now and then. All right, so, and make sure you look into using video on Facebook. Video is the leading driver of engagement, almost double any other post type. So what I mean by engagement is this is people who actually click on the thing you've posted. They like it, they share it, they respond to it. So people are listening to video, they're not listening, they're watching video. Facebook is really pushing video to people. They really want people to be using more video. And yet so few businesses are using it because they're just so intimidated by it. But you really don't have to use a lot of it. As you can see, this next chart, it's a little hard to see sometimes, but the optimal video length is about 180 to 200 seconds. So that's like 2.5 to 3 minutes. It does not have to be long. Keep it short and punchy, but don't be afraid to use video. And if you're interested in more about video, unfortunately, we don't have time to talk about that tonight, but I did a whole video on online video, and it is on our YouTube channel. So go and check that out. But don't be afraid to turn the camera on yourself. My salon has been doing this, and I think she's been doing a fabulous job of it. Every Monday, she films herself while she's either sitting at home or sitting in her empty salon, and she just checks in, says like, hey guys, I miss you. Here's a quick thing I can teach you. Like, I think this week she did, how do you tell about the products that you have in your bathroom? How do you tell if they're actually good for you? She did one on how do you take care of your acrylic nails now that you can't go into a salon. So there is something that you know that your audience would be interested in. You know, do you sell clothes and you know how to pick the best fiber or how to pick the best cut for your body type without ever having to try it on? Or do you have a tip for them on how to style something interestingly? I've seen some great videos on how to wrap a scarf in ways I would never imagine. You know, even if it's just a short, like minute or two, just a check-in of like, hey guys, I'm thinking of you. You know, here's my coworker, aka my pet that won't stop bothering me, or here's the view out my door. Whatever it is, take a video of it instead of a picture. It might be a little bit more engaging, and it might drive more attention to your page. Let's see, Lenore asked, it used to be that videos would play right on one's Facebook stream. Now it doesn't work. People have to click through to YouTube or Vimeo. Yeah, so Facebook is really trying to encourage native video. So if you post to YouTube or Vimeo, instead of a video that actually plays on their feed, it forces people to click through and go to YouTube or Vimeo. But Facebook really is encouraging you to post it directly onto your Facebook feed. So instead of going a roundabout way and using YouTube or Vimeo, if you take video, just post it straight to your Facebook page. No, if you posted the video on Facebook, it doesn't force you to click through. It will autoplay on your feed. You have to click on the video to turn sound on, because 90% of people do not watch video on YouTube with sound, but it will autoplay on your feed if you posted it directly to Facebook. So a couple more tips about posts, and then we'll move on to a bit more of expanded view. Do not be afraid to repost or recycle popular content. If you made a post or took a picture that got a ton of likes, comments, a lot of people engaged with it, you know, wait a little bit of time and post it again or share it. For that same salon, back when I was running her Facebook page, I actually took a screenshot or screen capture of my computer while I went in and booked an appointment using her online tool. I posted that video probably 5 times in like a year and a half. And every single time I posted it, got a lot of likes, got a lot of views, and a lot of people saying, oh my God, this was really helpful. Thank you. I didn't know how to use it. You'll know when the time is to let it rest. Either the content in it is not valid anymore, or, you know, this last time you posted it, you got maybe half as many views or not very many views at all. At that point, it might be time to retire it. But for some of your content, you could use it over and over again. People, one, if they did already see it, they're not going to mind. They might have forgotten about it, but also nobody is on Facebook all of the time. They don't see every single post you make. So don't be afraid to share it again. You catch people who might have missed it the first time. Give yourself time to experiment with the types of content and when you post. A lot of people ask me, when is the best time of day to post? But I can't tell you that. It hugely depends on your business and your audience. Different people are on at different times of day. If you're targeting businesses, you're going to end up reaching them, you know, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If you're targeting people, you might want to aim for evenings and weekends. It's so different for all of you. And the only way you can figure it out is by keeping an eye on your analytics, which we'll talk about later, or experimenting and seeing when you have success. Can I repeat what I said? Is there a better choice to post directly to Facebook or YouTube, Vimeo, etc.? If you are posting video and you want attention for that video on Facebook, it is always best to post it directly to Facebook. If you post a video to YouTube or Vimeo, it does not post as a video. It posts as an embedded link, so people have to actually click on it and go to that site to see it. It does not get the same boost from Facebook as it does when it's a native video. Make sure you focus your posts on quality over quantity. I do not care how often you post. I have attended workshops and I have read articles that say you should be posting 10 times a day. First off, do not do that, especially around here. We are such a small, quiet community. Posting that frequently a day will annoy people and they will stop following you. But also, who among you has time to post that frequently? If you're forcing yourself to post really constantly, you're going to be just scraping the bottom of the barrel for interesting, engaging content. So I don't care how often you post. I have clients I post for maybe 3 times a month, and that is just fine because that's all I need to get what I'm trying to say across. I have some sites that I'm not necessarily completely regular. For the Coopville Arts and Crafts Festival, right about now, I'm not posting anything because nothing is happening. But come June, once the vendors have been decided, I post 3 times a day, every single day until the festival in mid-August. That's a lot of posts. And then after like September, after I've done my wrap-up posts, I've talked about the upcoming year, I go quiet for most of the year. So whatever quantity makes sense for you, go for that. What I want you to focus on instead is quality. Is your post actually saying something that is going to help you, your business, or your audience? If yes, go ahead and post it or schedule it. If no, don't post it. When you're making a post that is a link post to your website or an article or an offsite video like we've talked about already, once you have pasted the link into the post, Facebook automatically generates an embed box which has a picture and the title and a link from the site. Once that has popped up, delete the link text. It does not look nice. It's not appealing to look at. It's not engaging at all. So I'll show you guys what I mean by that. Let's actually go, oops, skipped a page. Here we go. I'm actually going to go to Facebook. So say I'm on, Goosefoot's Facebook page and I want to do a link to, I don't know, let's go to this Guardian article about worry. So I'm going to make a post about this article. I've pasted the link, and as you can see, it thought about it for a second, and then it pulled up this box with an image from the site and this little gray box that's got the link and the title of the page. Once this has populated, I can now delete this link text up here, and I can type whatever I want. That box stays in place. The URL is gone, so it doesn't look as ugly. It's not as unappealing, and I can type whatever I want, but this stays unless I hit this X to close it out. So if you're posting a link to somewhere, get rid of the link after this box is pulled up, okay? All right. You can pin important posts to the top of your page. So if there is something you really want people to know, it's your special product that has just come out, something really exciting that's coming up soon. Do you have a special menu out right now during COVID-19? Do you have a job opportunity available? Whatever it is, if there is something you want everybody to know when they come to your page, even if you've posted more things in the meantime, you can pin that. So how you do that is, I'm going to turn on I'm going to highlight my arrow so you can actually see it. Let's load stuff. All right, so obviously recently I made a post about this class, but say I wanted this press release to be at the top of my page every time people came, no matter what I posted more frequently. I would come up at the top of the post. There's these little 3 dots. If I click on that, second option is pin to top of page. So now whenever somebody comes to the Goosefoot Facebook page, that is the first post they're going to see before anything I've posted more recently. And it's going to stay that way until I either post, I'm get past all of those, till I either pin something else, because you can only have one pinned post per page, or I unpin it. So again, you just hit these three dots and then hit unpin from page. So if you have something really important to share, please use the pinned post, but if you don't, you do not have to use it. And when you are making a post, even if it's just text, please always include an image. Images get like 80% more engagement. When people are scrolling down a feed, they tend to look at the picture, and if it's interesting or appealing to them, they'll scroll back up and read what's written above it. But if you just post a text post, a lot of people will scroll right past it without ever actually reading it. So even if you don't have a picture of whatever you're talking about, it's an abstract idea or it's something that's coming that you don't yet have a picture of, whatever it is, if you don't have a picture, go find one. It takes nothing from you to just go find a picture to include. Do not use Google Images. Those are copyrighted and you could get in severe trouble. There's a way to switch over to allow images that have been labeled for reuse, but those pictures genuinely tend to be pretty poor quality. So either take a picture yourself, or if you don't have the skill, I don't all the time, you can either use a stock photo. Say you can purchase photos from an artist if you have the means, but if you don't, there's a lot of free sites as well, such as FreePic or Pixabay. I think I have them mentioned at the end of this, but if not, I've mentioned them in multiple workshops at this point, and I'm happy to give you guys links if you need them. But there's a lot of free places to get really high quality images as well. So use one of them, but find a picture to use and put it with your post. Let's see, somebody asked, do you do workshops or cover anything about Facebook groups? I actually have a group slide later in this, so stay tuned. I think I do. I might have taken it out. We'll talk. So you can also schedule posts. A lot of you are thinking, oh, I got to post consistently, but I don't want to be on Facebook every day. I don't either. Earlier, I mentioned one of the pages I manage, I post 3 times a day, every single day. I am not on Facebook for them 3 times a day, every single day. They do not pay me enough for that. I don't want to do it. So what I do is I schedule the posts in advance. I will sit down for 2 hours on Sunday and I'll get all of the posts scheduled out. When things are normal and more regular, I do the same thing for Goosefoot. I don't, we post twice a day, every single day. Not right now because I don't want to compete with you guys who really need the audience attention. But when things are more normal, I usually post twice a day, every day. Obviously, I'm not going to log in for Goosefoot on the weekends. That's my off time. So what I do is on Friday, I sit down and I schedule posts out for the rest of the weekend and Monday morning so I don't have to think about it first thing when I walk in the door. So how you schedule a post is you have to go to the publishing tools at the top of your page and it'll default to published posts. But if you take the second option, it's scheduled posts. And in that tab, you can actually create a post that will let you set a specific date and a specific time for the post. If you've had a page around long enough and you have the analytics to show a good time to post, it will actually give you an option to post at a suggested time based on Facebook's analytics of data analysis of your analytics. So you can use that if you like, but you have a lot of control over when it posts. Now, if you don't want to use this tool, and I don't all the time, especially for sites that I have multiple social media for, Goosefoot and Bayview Corner both have Facebook and Instagram. And honestly, the link thing I showed you guys earlier where you paste a link and then it auto-populates that box, that does not work in scheduled posts, which annoys me. I don't like how they changed the scheduled posts in the last year, but I can't make them go back. So if you don't want to use their embedded scheduling tool here in Publishing Tools, You can also use tools like Buffer and Hootsuite. They are both social media management tools. And the cool thing about them is that you can use them to post to multiple social media sites at the same time. So rather than logging onto Facebook and making a post, and then logging onto Instagram and making a post, and logging on Twitter or Pinterest or whatever, you can log into all of those accounts in your Buffer or your Hootsuite account, and you can post to all of your platforms at the same time. It's really cool, and it also allows you to schedule things. So I'm actually going to show you guys Buffer, but Hootsuite works the same. So you can use whichever one you feel like. But this is what my Buffer platform looks like. You can see I've got 5 accounts loaded in here. If you are using the free one, you can only have up to 3, which for most of you, that's more than enough. But 3 does actually count, not just, you know, baby corner. These 2 do not count as 1, they count as 2, because this one is Facebook and this one is Instagram. But the free allows you up to 3. You can pay for higher versions if you need them. Now, as I can click on this and I can post whatever I want. But if I also click on this one, now it'll go to Facebook and Instagram at the same time. I can add images or videos. I can type whatever I want. I can use emojis. Let's actually pull something really quickly. Our organic farm stand brochure is up. Organic farm school, sorry. The farm stand, Would-Be farm stand. The Would-Be Island farm stand brochure is now live. Check out wouldbefarmstands.com for more information. So type whatever you want. It is automatically gone and pulled some pictures from the site. But then if I click customize for each network, I can actually see this is how it's going to look on Facebook. I don't want to, I want the full link to show. It automatically shortened it, but I unshortened it because I want the link to show. Instagram, same thing. This is what it looks like, but maybe I want to add hashtags to Instagram, but not on Facebook. I can do that here, but it'll still go out easily at the same time. This will not be clickable on Instagram. So even though it's showing up as clickable now, Instagram does not allow clickable links. I could leave hashtags in the comment if I want. It's great. And then I can schedule things whenever, whatever day, whatever time, or I can share it right now. So that's how Buffer works. Like I said, Hootsuite is the same. This is absolutely a workaround to get posts onto Instagram if you do not have a mobile device like a phone or an iPad, within reason. Posts from Buffer do not always automatically work on Instagram. Sometimes something will get caught up, or if you try to use multiple images, Buffer can only post to your Instagram account if you're just posting one picture on Instagram. If you're trying to use multiple pictures in a single post, you still have to have a mobile app for the Instagram, but this is a great workaround if you don't necessarily have access to a mobile device. So that's Buffer. The thing with Buffer and Hootsuite, and every class I have people come back to me and ask me this, they do have free options. They are tricky about it, however. Every class I talk about these being free. Every class I have someone come back to me and go, no, they're not free anymore. I couldn't find how to get the free. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that really quick. Buffer, I'm not going to show you that because you just create an account as normal, and that gives you a 2-week free trial. At the end of that 2-week trial, it will ask you if you wish to upgrade or if you wish to stay on the free plan. At the end of that 2-week, you can say, no, I want to stay on the free plan. That's how you get free Buffer. Just create an account as normal, give it a free try for 2 weeks, and then decide at the end of that. Hootsuite has hidden their free option. So if you go to hootsuite.com, and great, I've got the cookies. So if you request a demo or just log in, create an account, whatever, it's going to only show you the paid options. But if you go to plans, and then right here shows you all these paid options, you're like, but I just wanted to use it for free. Skip all of the paid plans, and then right down here, the same color as the rest of the background page, is Try our limited free plan, 3 social media profiles, 30 scheduled messages, 1 user. So this is how you get the free option on Hootsuite. So now that you have those tools, let's move on. Unless you guys have any questions about them, but both Facebook's in native scheduled posts tool or either of those, or honestly, there's a million, there's Sprout, there's so many I can't even talk about. Whatever makes you comfortable, feel free to have at it. But don't be afraid to use tools to, do better with your own page, but also schedule things so that you really only have to sit down at one chunk of time and do all of it instead of having to be on social media constantly. So I'm going to talk about templates, and then we're going to take a brief 5-10 minute break. I need to turn my light on because it's starting to get dark in here. Some of you probably need to get up and stretch or go to the bathroom or something, or maybe get some more water. But first, let me show you guys templates. So templates is how your Facebook page is set up, and it is what allows you to do cool things on Facebook. So here is the list of different templates they offer. Business is probably most of your guys' default. Nonprofit is, what Goosefoot is. There's also politicians and restaurants. So restaurants is different because you can put your menu on Facebook so people can see right on Facebook what all food options you have. Services let you put up listings of your different services you offer. Maybe you have different classes, maybe you have different counseling sessions, and therefore different time amounts and different dollar amounts, whatever. It lets you put up boxes for each of those that show off, what all your offerings are. Shopping is what a lot of you might want to switch to. Shopping lets you sell things directly on Facebook. So you have to have the shopping template set up if you want to list your products for sale on Facebook, not as a regular post. Any of you can make a regular post promoting a sale product. That's totally fine. But when you're on shopping, you get a shopping tab that shows all of your products, their title and their dollar amount in that tab. But also some pages actually have a shopping bar right below their cover image, but above all of their posts that show off their top products. So people can click on it, they can get more information, and then it clicks through right to your website where they can actually buy it. So if you want to sell things on Facebook, make sure you switch to a shopping template. And then obviously there's standard, whatever that is, and venues. Let's see. Which would you suggest if the main product is events? Is that services? Yeah, I would probably do that as services, or you could either do standard, or if you're a venue, you could do venue. Whatever makes sense for you. You can always change your template later too. So feel free to pick one and you're like, I like this. Oh wait, I want different options. You can switch to a different template and it's not going to negatively impact your page. So don't be afraid to fiddle with the templates, but I'm going to show you guys where to find these. So let us go back to Facebook. Go to your page that you're actually working on, and then you're going to go to settings. So settings is right up here in the top bar. It might be in a slightly different place depending on your configuration. Outside of these workshops, I usually have the new Facebook page activated, and so setting is moved somewhere else. But for most of you, if your Facebook looks like this, it's probably going to be in this top right corner up here that says settings. Now, templates and tabs is the third option down. So when I click on that, you can see I'm currently configured to nonprofit, and I can see these are the tabs they give me, and these are the orders that they're in. But say I wanted, fundraisers for whatever reason to be higher on that list, I could drag and drop it up higher. If I wanted to, share a tab to that page directly, there's the tab. So don't be afraid to poke around with these. You can also add new tabs that are within these categories. So say I don't want to be a nonprofit anymore. I just have to edit, and here's all of my options. So there's business, there's venues, politicians, services. So if I hit view details, it'll show me the buttons that it gives me, like, follow, share, save. The tabs it gives me: home, services, reviews, shop, all of these. And it puts them in this order originally until you move things around. So I can actually see what it's going to offer me before I ever click. But even if you do go ahead and apply the template, and then you decide you want to change it later, you can absolutely do that later. So it gives you a tour of how the page looks as a services page. If I go to services, I can actually go ahead and set these up. So as you can see, name the service, price, or, here's our options, description, how long is it? And this will actually encourage people to book it, and they can book it directly on Facebook if you enable that, or it encourages people to message you about how to book it. So this is a really cool option if you are a service. Obviously, same thing for shops and other kinds of businesses. So please feel free to fiddle with the template. As I said, at any time, you can go back in and change it back, and you are not going to be negatively impacted. I'm actually going to go ahead and change it back to nonprofit because that's what Goosefoot actually is. Apply template. Okay. So there, I'm back. All right, so that's templates. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a brief 5-minute break, but when we come back, we're going to go into those settings more because there's even more fun stuff hidden in there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my video off, but we're going to leave everything open, and we're going to be back here in just 5 minutes. So please go to the bathroom, get some more water. If you don't feel like you need to go anywhere, get up and stretch, because I've been talking for an hour and I guarantee you need to stretch. So I will be right back, everybody. All right, so hope you guys had a good stretch. Hope you had some water and some standing. So there is a ton of stuff in settings that people don't ever get into. They don't ever play with. So let's take a quick look at that. Obviously, you don't have time. We only have we have an hour left. I don't have time to get into everything, but I'm going to show you guys just a few fun settings. So going into your Facebook page, again, your settings should be in the top right corner here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my mouse again so you guys can see where I'm going. It automatically defaults to page roles, because if you've been into your Facebook settings, this is probably where you've been the most frequently. If you didn't know already, you can have multiple people on your Facebook page. So if you have employees, or if you have, a spouse or a friend or a neighbor who's helping you with your Facebook, so that you don't have to do everything all the time, you do not have to give them the login to your personal account. You can add them on these page roles. So as you can see, you can't see because I'm just set as editor, so you can only see me. But on Goosefoot's page, we actually have at least 3 people. We have me, we have Marion, and we have Sandy. Everybody has access to the page at different levels. On Goosefoot's page, I can only post. I can respond and delete comments. I can make ads. I can respond to messages, but I can't change anybody else's level. I can't delete this page. So different permissions. There's a lot of different levels. If you need to set somebody up to be able to go post to your page, but you don't want them to have access to remove any content, you don't want them to see the messages, you could do that. Or you can give somebody full admin level so they can see and do everything on the page. There's a lot of different page roles, so don't be afraid to get into this and add people if you have someone who could help you. But we're gonna actually start all the way up at the top. So page info actually takes you to a lot of this general information. Hopefully you filled out as you were setting up your page, but describe your page. What categories are you in? Phone number, website, email. You can also fiddle with all of these in the about section of your page. So you might have been able to fill out all of this information without ever actually visiting your settings page. So some of these are gonna seem familiar to you. And obviously also set your hours. You can, this temporary service change is a new option, obviously, with COVID-19. Once this is over, these are going to go away. I should mark that we are temporarily closed. Like I said, you've probably seen all of these in the About section because hopefully you filled that out. But there's also a lot of settings in messaging. So I think I have a slide on this later, but we're going to talk about this now. You can set up how your page interacts with people when they send you a message. So you can turn off, if I hit the return key or the enter key, it's going to send the message. If it's off, I have to actually click send. So if I hit enter, it just creates a new line. I prefer that because I usually do multi-paragraph responses, and I hate on pages that have this turned on and I hit enter trying to go into a new paragraph and it sends the message instead. But totally your personal preference. A lot of people like the convenience of hitting enter to send it. What I really want to focus on here is you can greet people before they ever send your page. So when somebody opens up the messenger to send your page a message, or when they first visit your page, Messenger can automatically pop up and you can type in what they see. Like, hey, thanks so much for visiting my page. These are my hours, or here's how quickly you can expect a reply. Or even, some of you might just not want to use Messenger. If you primarily use Facebook on mobile, on a tablet or a phone, they actually don't let you access your messages on Facebook's app. You have to use the Messenger app, which can be really annoying for page messages. So if you don't want people to use the Messenger at all, you can't ever turn Messenger off, unfortunately, but you could set the greeting to say, hey, I don't check Messenger very often. For a more timely response, please email us or call us at this number. So you could absolutely set that up if you wanted to. Down here, you can set up automated responses. So if somebody goes ahead and types up a message and sends it to you, you can set it up so that it automatically responds to them with, hi, thanks so much for reaching out. We check this regularly, but Wednesday through Friday from 3 to 7, or whatever makes sense for you. Or, as I mentioned earlier, you can also go ahead and set up, hi, thanks for your message. We don't check Messenger regularly. Please contact us through phone or by email for a more direct response. I have this set up for some of the group pages I manage, such as the Vintners and Distillers Association or the Bed and Breakfast Association, because most people's messages through those pages would be about a specific B&B or winery, which I don't have the answer for them. So the message is automated to set up of like, thanks so much for reaching out. Please go talk directly to the business you are interested in to get a faster response. So, and then if you have multiple people on your page, you can go ahead and turn this off so that you can see who is actually sending the message. It's kind of auto turned on for everybody. So if, Marion responded to somebody on our Facebook page, I would see that she responded to it, but the person she would respond to would only see Goosefoot responded to them. Oh, look, Machine Shop is playing video. So this is what I said, do video on Facebook. Facebook promotes it. It's right here in my space. So we've looked at templates and tabs already. Next up is notifications. So you can tell Facebook how often you want it to bother you. Do you want to get a notification every time something happens on your page? Do you want to get one notification for all of the 12 to 24-hour activity? Or do you want to just turn notifications off entirely? Do you want it to email you? Do you want it to text you? So if you're not getting your Facebook notices, but you're really worried about missing something important, you can tell it to send it to you in another way. So don't be afraid to use these if you're missing important notices from your account. I unfortunately kind of semi-regularly, just because I run so many different pages, I regularly miss notices, and then I will be poking around in my inbox later and go, wait, when did someone leave a reply on this? Or when did someone send me a message? I didn't see this and it was 4 months ago. So if you're worried about that sort of a thing, you can get it to send it to you on other platforms. Advanced messaging tools don't exist anymore, I don't think. Yeah, they kind of took all of these away. Facebook badges is something that they've used just to encourage engagement. Top fan badges, you know, do you want people to be labeled as a top fan or a founding fan or whatever? There's a lot of different options in here. My page is old enough, I only have top fan, so I could turn it off if I wanted to, but I don't care. It's fine. I'll leave it on. We looked at page roles because that's what it defaults to. People in other pages actually shows you who likes your page. So you might be wondering, okay, when I go to my page, I see, you know, 300 people or whatever like my page, but who are they? This is where you can get that list. So if I click on settings and then go to people and other pages, this is where you can see who actually likes your page. I can highlight it and then I can block them. I can download it. Yeah, I can remove them or I can ban them. I'm not going to do that. This is automatically defaults to people who like the page, but I can do people who follow this page, which is not always the same thing. You can follow a page without liking a page, and you can like a page and then unfollow it. I can also see pages that have liked my page, and then I can see banned people. I have not banned somebody, but if you have somebody that is harassing you, that is being completely unreasonable, that is breaking your terms of service, leaving really nasty posts, you can ban them. You do not have to put up with the abuse. So that is absolutely a tool that is available to you. Don't be afraid to use it. You can also set your preferred page audience. So this has been moved, as you can see, but you can restrict, you know, if you run a distillery page, you can restrict it so that it's only viewable for people 21 years or higher. Branded content has also been moved, as you can see. That's what this little icon is. So it actually will take me somewhere else. They really should just remove these options from here because they're not available here anymore. But Instagram, this is where you can connect to your Instagram account. And you can see that here. Or if I decide I don't want to be connected to this Instagram account anymore, I can disconnect it from Facebook. I don't, you know, say you lost your Instagram account, somebody hacked it, or you lost the login. You don't have to log back into Instagram in order to remove that connection. You can do it from here. You can feature certain pages. So if there are up to 3 pages that you would really like people to see when they visit your page, of other pages that, you know, you recommend that they might be interested in, you can feature them here so that people will actually go and see that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and add, actually I only have these 3, so I could feature them if I wanted to. I was going to add the goose, but I haven't actually liked the goose as Goosefoot. So you have to like it as your page, but then you can absolutely feature them, and then it shows up in this right side column when somebody's actually on your page. If you do not set these, Facebook is probably going to recommend some pages anyway based on similarities, but you can control what they recommend by using this tab here. Page support inbox is just if you've reached out to Facebook because you've had issues or they've sent you notices and you're like, wait, where was that notice? I didn't actually see what they said. You can come here and actually review what they said. And then Wi-Fi network is a pretty cool tool. You can tell people that you have public Wi-Fi available. Facebook does actually let people know, hey, there is Wi-Fi in the area. So somebody just asked, how do you like a page as a page? Great chance to go ahead and go like the goose as Goosefoot. If I go to it, I have liked it, but if I think, yeah, so if I hit these 3 dots here, go away, I don't want you. It gives me all of these options, but right down here is like as your page. So it's about midway through the list. If I click on that, then it'll give me my drop down of pages because I have way too many. So I want to like the goose as Goosefoot. Great. That's how I've done it. So now I have liked it as Goosefoot. That's how you do that. So I think we actually went through all the settings. Oh, and then it shows me the page management history, just shows me what I or other people have done on this page for a certain span of time. So I'm actually going to go ahead and feature the goose. Boop. All right, great. Now I am recommending the goose. Actually, I just went ahead and featured all of them. And now if I go to my page, you can see over here on the right-hand side, it's got my story, it's got breakdown of info for me, my community, about, and then right down here, it shows off the pages I have liked. So yeah. So that's another good way that you can connect with other businesses and cross promote. I did that as well as the Coopville Chamber for the farmers market, I think the library and the Waterfront Association, something like that. So that is page settings, super quick breeze through. Do not be afraid to go and poke around and see what you can find. Close this again. So next up, we're going to talk really briefly about stories. Stories is the newest function in the block. It is copied from Instagram, who copied it from Snapchat. It is vertical content that only sticks around for 24 hours and then it goes away forever. It is super prime real estate. So stories always show up, as you can see here, at the top of the feed of your main news feed. So people don't even have to go to your page to see your stories. It is right there at the top of the page. So it gets a lot of attention. And a lot of people regularly watch these. I will be honest with you, I do not. So if you think stories are dumb, you don't have to use them. But there is a lot of really high quality reasons to use it. It drives engagement. People who look at stories actually are engaging with it. They're liking it. They're, making their own. Stories are pretty high engagement, unlike a lot of your other posts. So if you're feeling frustrated that your content is just not getting seen, might be time to try stories, because it's a new way of getting your content in front of people and available to people in this nice prime real estate. And if you get more people looking at your stories and engaging with them, it does actually help the rest of your content get out there as well. So if you're seeing a slump, don't be afraid to use a story. It also is a good way to humanize and familiarize your brand. So because it disappears in 24 hours, it's meant to be very quick, snappy content that you didn't have to think about. This can be your very silly stuff. This can be, your blurrier pictures that might not be good enough quality to be your main post. So go ahead and slap it in a story, because that can be very relatable. It can be very engaging. People connect to them pretty well. So for those of you who haven't seen a story, I have some examples. I accidentally closed my Q&A box just a second. But I have some examples on the next slide, but I'm actually going to go ahead and go into my Facebook feed so you guys can see. So here are stories from my friends. My bad. Automatically plays the audio. I went ahead and muted that. And it is very short. It's like about 15 seconds until it transitions to the next one, but I can also use these arrows to transition faster. So I can see content from everyone I follow. Pages give you more buttons like see more or vote. So it's a good way to have engaged content with people. Family meal deal, woo! So that's stories as an example. I could very easily make my own by just, clicking here. Interesting. So I can, and then it gives you the option of, instead of posting to news, I can post it to my newsfeed and a story. I can post just a newsfeed or just a story. The proportions are going to be a little bit different. Stories really are meant to be the full width of a mobile device. So I think the aspect is like 19:6 or something, or 16:9 or something like that. So examples of business stories. Here's some ways you can use stories first up. You can use stories for behind the scenes content. talking about, again, how is the sausage made, but maybe you don't want it to be open in public all of the time. You could totally toss it into a story to just make it exclusive content for the people who are on in the window of time that you uploaded it. You could do tips or very short how-tos. I see Quinn in the chat. You could absolutely just show people, here's how you tune really quick. It's not long enough to make a huge video out of, but it's something nice, short, 30 seconds to a minute that's interesting to look at. You could do teaser content. So if you're moving into a big release, you could tease it for a little while on your stories of like, something's coming, take a little corner shot of it, maybe make it really blurry and just tease that it's coming before you actually release it. You could do exclusive offers. So you could test how well a story works by saying, hey, use this code to get a free gift or X amount off, and only put that in the story. And then you can see how effective stories are for you. I would caution, you should kind of regularly use stories before you try to test how effective they are, because if you've never done a story and then you try to test how effective it is, obviously it's not going to be effective for you because nobody's going to expect it. So don't try to test it right out of the gate. Give yourself time to use it and explore before you test it. You can do surveys. So you can ask people, red or green or right or left, or, what name do you think we should name it? Anything like that, you could absolutely do as a story survey. You could also do time sensitive information. So if you have, restaurants, stories are great for restaurants because I don't know about you guys, but because Facebook's jumbled algorithm, I will see, for example, Would Be Donuts, I'll see this actually happened to me on Friday. They had a Philly cheesesteak sandwich special. I didn't see that post until Sunday morning. Great, cool. That was a Friday special. I've missed it. But if it's in a story, it goes away in 24 hours. So if I'm seeing it in your story, I know it's still valid. As you can see on the right here, this is what it gives you as an option if you are putting a story as your page. It gives you some more buttons you can add, like shop now, book now, get directions, call now, see event, see job, or see offer. So you can use buttons like you saw on that Rose City where it was like, get info. And so I clicked on that and it opened their website. So this is not available on personal stories. This is only available to business pages. So don't be afraid to use it. So here's some story examples from actual businesses. Boozer Delivery is showing off their new app that they have and that they're now delivering to offices. The next couple are showing off articles that have just come out. Actually, I think mainly the next one is. And you can swipe up and see more, and it'll actually open up Money's webpage to that article specifically. It's an article that just came out, which is why they put it in their story. Pop Sugar was actually running a very silly quiz. So you can see that's what the poll option looks like. It gives you the, option A or B, and you can type whatever you want. You can make it look however you want. Victoria asked, stories are on a 24-hour clock. If I post it at 10 a.m., gone at 10 a.m. the next day. Yes, it is on a 24-hour clock. So it is gone 24 hours after you posted it. So be careful to post it at the right time. And as you can see, the last one over here, Blink 182, was actually advertising exclusive the exclusive concert releases. Obviously, this information was going to go out to everybody later, but it gave people who regularly check their stories and like their page a forerunner heads up that the tickets were going to go on sale. So they got access faster. So that's a good excuse or a good example of an exclusive one you could try. So, obviously you can just do something like a photo, like the Pop Sugar one. Everything else on here, the pictures, the text, this was something they actually programmed in stories as they were setting it up themselves. The other ones, you can see somebody designed a graphic ahead of time and then uploaded it. If you want to do something more graphic like this, as I mentioned, canva.com is a great way to do it. They have a lot of really good tutorials. They got a lot of templates that you can just click and use and then upload your own pictures, change the colors, add text, all of that great stuff. So If you want to get into more graphical ones, canva.com is a great tool and it is completely free. There are paid options as well, though. Hey, I answered your question right as it came up. So Messenger, we talked about this a little bit already, but Messenger is a wonderful customer service tool. Yes, I know ideally it would be great if people always called you or emailed you directly so you could answer their questions instead of having to be on Facebook at all times. But the more steps you require of somebody to do something, the less likely they are to do it. So if you want people to engage with you, if you want them to ask you questions, you need to make it easy for them and you need to give it to them where they already are. Some of your customers, especially say the older ones, they're always going to want to call you. I actually hate phone calls, so I don't give my phone number out, and I still have customers that are like, what's your phone number so I can call you? But broadly, if you talk to people where they already are, you're going to get a better response. So if you're engaging with people on Facebook, they're going to use Messenger to reach out to you. Make sure you check your Messenger. Nothing is more frustrating than some businesses I've messaged on Facebook and then I never heard back from them. Don't do that. You can set up Messenger auto response. I showed you that earlier when we were playing around in settings. Make sure you respond or like comments, posts, and reviews. As I mentioned at the start of this workshop, if somebody took time out of their day to interact with your business, your organization, thank them for that and reward them for it by liking their post if you have nothing else to say, or responding back to them when they reach out to you. Even if it's hard, we've had some interesting messages today. I responded to all of them because it's important. A lot of young businesses ask me, well, what do I do if somebody just leaves a really bad review? Well, first off, one, step away from the computer, give yourself time to calm down. You never, ever want to respond to somebody in the heat of anger. That is always going to go poorly for your business. Take a moment to think, do they have a point? Is there something you can do about it? But if it's one of those crazy reviews that is just completely off the mark, they don't know what they're talking about, or even if it's just, they made up stuff because they're mad at you, anybody who has spent any amount of time on the internet knows there are crazy people on the internet. We're all aware of this. When somebody sees a really scathing and really out there review, their first thought is usually, this is a crazy person. When a business responds to them thoughtfully, kindly, straightforward, hi, this is what really happened. We offered them this response to make it better. They took nothing. They were just really upset with us. People go, oh, yeah, that's a crazy person. When a business hides or deletes a review or gets really nasty and personal right back, that makes people pause and go, is there something to this? So as long as you stay professional, stay level, stay, transparent and forthright, it doesn't matter what the reviews are, good or bad. It's only going to reflect well on your business. So don't be afraid of really bad things happening. We have all been on the internet long enough. We know not everybody on the internet is trustworthy. And if you do have a negative review, encourage reviews so that you drown them out with new positive reviews. Like I said, most people don't mind sharing their thoughts and opinions. They just forget that that's a thing they can do. How many of you love a restaurant and go and eat there every chance you get? Think of that same restaurant you've got in your head. Have you reviewed them on Facebook or on Google? Probably not, just because it never occurred to you. But in person, you tell everyone you can that how great this is. So it's not that you don't want to leave a review. It's that you might be busy or you might have forgotten. So don't be afraid to encourage reviews both in person and digitally on your Facebook page itself, on the receipts, wherever. If they don't want to, they're not gonna. But a lot of people will just go, oh yeah, I don't mind doing that. I actually had one client that I actually went to their business and we set up a tablet, obviously before everything closed, that sat on their counter by the checkout, and it was hooked up to Facebook and Google so that people could go ahead and leave a review while they were standing there. So absolutely okay to encourage people to leave reviews. But mostly when you're interacting with people through Messenger, through comments, through whatever, have fun with it. Be a real person, be approachable, be encouraging, engage with people on a fun, personable level, because that's really, at the end of the day, what social media is all about. Somebody asked, this is a silly question. How do they leave a review? First off, there are no silly questions. I refuse to entertain that idea. But if you actually go to somebody's page, I'm not going to go to my pages because it's the pages I own. It's not going to show quite right. But I'm going to go to, the machine shop, for example, because it's right at the top of my feed. Like I said, he's live now. So Facebook is really pushing it. Live video is a lot of fun. But right, I can either go over here, and right here is this tab that says reviews. So if I actually go to, facebook.com/the-machine-shop-arcade/reviews, here I am. And then if I hit yes, I can actually go ahead and leave a review. Or if I don't go to that tab specifically, I'm just looking at their page regularly. Go away. I don't want you, Messenger. You're such a bother. I don't like this new habit of making things pop up all the time. So right up here at the top of this right sidebar is their reviews. So 5 out of 5 based on the opinion of 96 people. If you click on that, it'll take you to that same reviews tab where you can definitely leave a review. So you can encourage people to just go to your reviews tab. You can also send them a link for, facebook.com/your-page/reviews, and it will absolutely take you here. So that is where you do it. So I went over this. We're going to skip that, but don't be afraid to use the auto response if you need to. Ads, what probably most of you came here for. And I know it's late. It's like 7:36, and I'm sure you guys are tired. So I promise we only have 2 big sections left to go over, ads and then analytics. So ads, even though the name is ad, it's still not for a hard sell. You can absolutely sell products, and I will admit I have bought things from Facebook ads, but largely people still don't go online to get sold at. And if your ads are 100% product sales all the time, you're going to annoy people and they're going to start ignoring you. So don't focus on the hard sale. Ads on Facebook are really phenomenal for greater awareness. So letting people know you exist or your program exists. They're really great for drawing people to your page, which is called click-through. And they're also great for reaching followers who don't normally see your content. So as I said, if you go to, we'll go to Goosefoot's page. We're actually running an ad right now, so you can see the difference. Let me look at, I'm not gonna look at the Facebook post that I made, 2 hours ago, because it's only been up for 2 hours, so it's not quite a fair comparison. But 15 people reached. The post before, would be Earth and Ocean Month. I was talking about that. We have 1,300 followers on this page, and it only reached 123 people, which is not a lot. It's better than some of our posts, Intro to Facebook got 49 people. So obviously you can see sometimes our reach is higher, sometimes it's not quite as high. But when we boost it, it reaches a lot more people. So you can reach people who've never seen your page before, or you can target it to people who already like your page, but they haven't seen your stuff. Because the thing is, even after you've liked a page, when you stop engaging with the content, when you stop looking at it, when you stop clicking on it, when you stop liking it or sharing it or leaving a comment, Facebook just stops showing it to you. Even though you told Facebook you wanted to see it by clicking like, your behavior has told Facebook that you don't actually want to see it. And there's only so much room on your feed. You might have hundreds of friends and like tons of pages. Facebook can't show you all of that content. So they just try to show you the best like 30 people. So people can fall off of your page even though they're still liking it. So ads can be a great way to reach people who might not be seeing your stuff anymore. And once they like something once they come back and leave one comment, now they're back to regularly seeing your stuff. So that once is worth it. So there are a few ways you can run ads. Obviously, most of you are familiar with the boost button. It's this blue button at the bottom of your post that says boost. That one's unavailable because it's a share, but then I say boost post or boost event. This is the one you're probably familiar with. It is the easiest way. Same as over here on the left side, there is promote, which will promote your entire page. These are very easy to use, and I will not snub anyone for using them, but there are some really cool, way more in-depth ad tools available outside of these surface level stuff. So obviously, if you go to more, or it might be in your regular feed, because unfortunately this white bar on your page changes on every page I've ever been on. So can't tell you for sure, but you're looking for Ad Center. It might be up here under more, or it might just be on the regular bar. But I'm going to click Ad Center. And this actually gives me a summary of all of my ads, but I can also create an ad from here and see automatically it gives me a different setup. Instead of just boosting the post and now it moves into stuff you've seen if you've ever boosted a post, it gives me different options. So I can boost a post, I can boost an Instagram post, I can boost an event, I can get more messages, I can promote the page, I can promote it locally. So this will only send the ad out to people who are physically located within the boundary I have defined. I can build the business. I can get more website visitors. So if your goal is ultimately to get people to go check out your website, you could click that. You can also do lead generation. So people can type in their name, their contact information, and express interest, and it will give you that list of people who are interested. So it does let you do all of these things from the ad center that it doesn't let you do from just pushing boost post. So as you can see already, this is a step above, but wait, there's even more. If instead of any of these pages, you leave the regular Facebook entirely and actually go to business.facebook.com, you will actually go into the business manager. And as you can see, I run way too many accounts. So I have a lot of businesses here. You probably will not have any when you first go into it. So you'll have to walk through the setup page. If I go to Great Business Manager, you might have to set up your page. So it wants me to select, but you will have the option to set yours up. But I'm going to go look at Baby Corner, for example. Gives me a nice overview of the account. But then if I click on, sorry, my face is in the way, so I get lost a little bit. If I go to Ads Manager, I can actually get even more results. So as you can see, I can, come on, let me click it. Create ad, go away. Create new, I gotta name it. So we're gonna name this test campaign, just so I can show you guys how this works. No, I wanna create the ad. Okay, so you can see right here, your marketing objectives are so much broader than any of the tools available on your page directly. You can see you can go for awareness or reach. Reach obviously lets you reach out to more people, touch more people's pages. You can get traffic, so you want them to actually come to your page. You can get them engaging, so it'll reach out, it'll focus the attempt to reach out specifically on people who are very likely to like or leave a comment or share it. You can get app installs if you have an app for them to install. You can get them to watch your video. You can get that lead generation form. You can get them to send you a message. Conversions sends people to your website, so you can get them off Facebook and onto your website. You can sell things if you have your Facebook catalog set up, or option is not available right now because COVID-19 and everything is closed down, but normally you would have the option to choose store traffic. So your ultimate goal is to get them to physically come and visit you. How cool is that? How many people in this class right now would this help? All of these tools have just been sitting here this whole time and you didn't even know because for some reason Facebook is stupid and does not let their business tool, they don't put it in easy access place. So again, you get to hear just by going to business.facebook.com. And I will send the slides out for this workshop afterwards. It does have that link on this slide, so you can absolutely come back here. And then you can choose, okay, let me pick something. We're going to pick engagement. Tells you what more that is, what it'll look like. A/B tests let you experiment. So earlier I was talking about the importance of experimenting. You know, what's the best time to put it? What is this image better or is this image better? What's the best text? I don't know. A/B tests let you play with that. You get to set up different options and run them at the same time, and the A/B test will actually monitor which one is doing better. And then it will actually slowly over time, it'll start pushing the one that's doing better ahead. You can also optimize it so that Facebook in its infinite wisdom will tell you what's best for you, or you can turn that off if you want ultimate control. Set up my ad account. I get to set up my dollars. I'm in the US, American Los Angeles time zone. I get to set up my audience. So defining your audience is incredibly important. And originally this was my next slide, but we're going to talk about it now. The one thing Facebook does better than any other advertising tool. I mean, obviously pretty much all social media can do this, but print will never be able to do this. Television will never be able to do this. But through social media, you can get super targeted on who you're talking to. You can choose where they're located. It defaults to the entire US, but for very few of you is that useful. You can get as specific as a certain zip code. So you could do just, 98239 if you only want to target Clinton people. Or you could do all of the zip codes, so you get just Whidbey Island or just South Whidbey. Or you can do as small as a 10-mile radius around a certain area, up to a 50-mile radius around a certain place. You can do the entire state. There's a lot of options in location. Age, you can set as young as 13, as old as 65 plus. Unfortunately, it does not, narrow it down after over 65. Once you're, 70 or 72 or 83, you're just in 65 plus. But that's the options it gives you. You can set genders. Obviously, for a lot of you, gender does not matter for your customer. But for some of you, say if you have a clothing boutique, gender is super vital. You can also choose detailed targeting. So you can choose people based on their demographics or their interests. So I could do shoppers. There's all of these interests. So if their job title is shopper, I could do interest of online shopping. Can you stop scrolling down? And you can also do suggestions. So based on your page and based on the tags you've entered already, it gives you some suggestions to work from. And you can also get as specific as, parents with, all parents, parents with adult children, parents with teenagers, parents with preteens, school-age children, preschool, new parents. Obviously, for a lot of you, being able to target parents of young kids could be super vital for your business. You can also choose really broad stuff such as, travel. Whatever is useful for your business. You can get behaviors. So they are frequent travelers. They are commuters. You can target people hugely. And Facebook has a terrifying amount of data on you based on how you use Facebook, what you post about, what you like. where you go while you still have the Facebook app open. It is kind of scary, but it is a tool that exists out there. You can't really stop it without just not using the internet entirely. I prefer to look at it as like, well, the information's already out there. At least I am getting stuff that is interesting to me. So, my Facebook, when I do get ads, is filled with, right now it's filled with standing desks because I was just researching them, but I frequently get, Kickstarters for games or cool products that I might actually like. Back when I was looking at alternative cleaning, low waste plastic stuff, I got a lot of really cool ads for stuff that I'm actually going to try later. I'm not getting ads for, ED pills or anything like that, because that's not interesting or useful for me. And the ad's going to be there anyway. So at least this data gets me stuff that I would actually find useful and interesting. So don't be afraid to use the targeting. You can also exclude people. So say you want parents, but you don't want, new parents. You can exclude people as you need to. Instead of just adding them to your list, you can cut them out as well. So play with this. There's also, you can set languages. It defaults to all languages, but you could set to just English, whatever you need. You can save the audience so that anytime you create a ad, you can automatically choose this. You don't have to enter these options every single time you use it because it's so time consuming. So set up the audience you like. You can tweak it at any time, but you can save it with a name so that you can always reuse it and you don't have to type this stuff in every single time. You can set up where you want it to show up, automatic, or you can choose, and then you can choose how much you want to pay and how long you want it to run for. Obviously, there's so much more ad stuff we could talk about, but I just looked down at the clock and we have 10 minutes left. So whether you use the boost button or whether you go into the business ad manager, there's so many great tools for better ads for your business. As I mentioned earlier, Facebook is unfortunately, to really find success, there is some pay to play. You do have to give them money occasionally for people to regularly be able to see your content, but it could be as little as $5. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marian, but I think most of our ads are like $20, $40. Doesn't have to be a huge break the bank kind of a dollar amount. I talked about custom audiences already. Again, you can save these so that you can use them later and reference them on other ads. But we have so much more to talk about on ads and not enough time to talk about it. So there is an entire class just on ads. It's called Beyond the Boost, Crafting Effective Social Media Ads. The next one is scheduled for Thursday, May 21st from 6 to 8. So that is completely free, like all of our workshops. Go visit goosefoot.org/workshops for our entire list. But, that's a little under a month away. So it gives you plenty of time to play with the system and get a little more familiarity so that you're ready to go for that class. So I also wanted to show you guys, in that same business manager system we were just in, there's also a tool called Facebook Pixel. This is a lot like the Google Analytics tracking code that you might be used to already for your website. But it is a code you can embed on your website. Unfortunately, it does give Facebook all of the data of, how people use your website, where they come from, where they go, all of that stuff. But if you rely really heavily on Facebook for advertising, putting the pixel on your website will help you build better Facebook outreach, because it'll track people everywhere they go and then use that information to help you reach them better on your Facebook page. So if you're interested in using that, it's the Facebook Pixel tool. You could get into that in that business.facebook.com setup I showed you earlier, or you could also just Google Facebook Pixel and it'll show you how to do it. It'll give you either the code, it'll give you instructions if you want to enter it on your website on your own. It gives you an option to email it to your developer if you have a website developer, so you can make them do it for you. Or if you use some platforms, I think like Shopify and a couple others, it can automatically inject it for you. Obviously, pros and cons to using it and not using it, but if you're interested in using it, Facebook Pixel is absolutely a tool that will help you track and improve how you use Facebook and tie it to your website usage. So catalogs, we talked about this a little bit in the selling on Facebook crash course that I did like 2 weeks ago. Please go check that out on our YouTube channel if you're interested. But if you go to facebook.com/products/catalogs, you can either manually upload all of your products, or you can tie it to a system like Shopify, BigCommerce, OpenCart, WooCommerce, and a couple others. And it will automatically pull all of the products you sell, and then you can list it on your Facebook page, and people they won't buy it directly on Facebook unless you use Shopify. Shopify does have a way for them to buy it directly on Facebook, but it will give people a nice, pretty listing on Facebook that they can then go and click through to actually buy it from your website. So great way to sell to people where they already are. It does include a picture, the name of the product, a description, the website link of where to buy it, and the price. If you're going to sell products or services on Facebook, high quality images is really everything. That is how people buy things online, because they can't touch it, they can't feel it, they can't smell it, they can't look at it. So you have to simulate that store environment as much as you can by using good quality images. So take the time if you want to sell online, but especially if you want to sell on Facebook, to get some good product pictures. So analytics, we're going to talk analytics really quickly. Running out of time here, apologize if we run a little late, but please feel free to ask questions regardless. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my analytics. I'm going to go back to the page. Go back to my Facebook. Where are you? Oh, I don't want you. So if I'm on my Facebook page, not on the news feed, not on my regular Charlene said, I love how excited you are about all of this. I am constantly excited about social media. This is probably a good thing since I teach it and I do most of it, but I'm glad you guys are amused by how excited I get about this. So when you're on your actual feed, if you click right up here again, this top white bar is Insights. If it is not on the white bar, it might be hidden under More, again, depending on your page, but you're going to be looking for this word Insights. That is your analytics for the page. It defaults to the last 7 days, but you can pick on this page up to the last 28 days. On other pages, you can pick an even broader window, but this overview page gives you just a nice snapshot of the last month, actions taken on the page, how many people have looked at my page. It's 207, which is up 20% from the last 28-day window. We've had 30 page previews. Our posts have reached 10,000 people, which is up 119%. Once again, makes sense because we have been running ads. We're up 21 new page likes within that window. Awesome. People are engaging with our posts. That means they're clicking on it. They're actually looking at it, so they're stopping with it on their screen. They're sharing it, they're commenting on it. Our videos are up 5,300%, which is fascinating to me because I don't think we've posted any videos. I think people are going back and looking at our old videos because they're bored and in quarantine. But awesome, people are liking our videos. People are following the page as well. Obviously, I don't sell anything on our page, so we don't have any orders. It can show me the most how successful posts are against each other. So as you can see, our workshop post has 313, which isn't a lot, but it's much bigger than the 16 reach of the Facebook post. But these two, which have a pretty high, decent chunk, these ones were ads, so they reached more people. It also gives me, I like the pages to watch because it gives me a good benchmark to compare myself against businesses of a similar size. So what is the store name? How many pages, how many likes do they have? So this can be just good to compare yourself against other like-minded businesses. The sides over here give you even more drilled down information. My poster does say 31 days. Oops, forgive me for that. So as you can see, as I said, overview gives you just 28 days window. But when you get into the specific pages, so data on your followers, data on reach, page views, all of the other tabs over here on the right, I can make this window so much bigger. These defaults are 1 week, 1 month, and 1 quarter, but I could go all the way back to, the start of the page if I wanted to. So I could take a look at this from, I'm not going to go all the way back. Let's just go to, oh no, it won't let me click new. Oh, fine. How far back will you let me go? Let's see if it'll let me do 2017. Nope, it won't. Okay, how far back will it let me go? Oh, it looks like it will let me go as far back as the last 2 years. So February 2016 or April 16, 2018. I can see my growth over time. So you can do a lot of different ranges. And the nice thing is, let me double check this, but you can either manually record these. I like to take screenshots, or let's see, you should be able, somewhere hidden in here. I'm not sure where they've moved it this time because Facebook changes things constantly on me, but somewhere in here you can actually download this data so that you could put it into a Excel spreadsheet, and you can track it over time. I'm not sure where they've hidden it, but you can see there's so much information on here. Let's see, I'm gonna actually, I think it's in followers will actually show me, let's see, actually it's in people. So people is probably the most helpful category for most of you guys. You can see the breakdown of your followers. So gender, age, we have 78% of our fans are women. 21% of those women are 65 and up. Largely located in the United States, though we do have some in other countries. Largely in Langley, a little bit in Freeland, Clinton, and on down. Overwhelmingly English. Nice thing is too, within all of these options, you can see what time of day you should post, what days are popular, what kind of content they like to see. So please poke around on this. Nancy asked, will you comment a little on goals? What are reasonable expectations for posting on Facebook? So that's so different for all of you, and it depends on what you're hoping to achieve. But when, as a regular post, it's honestly, organic reach, I think, is down to about 3%. So if 3% of your followers are seeing your posts, you're doing fine on posts. It's a terrible tiny number, but that's just how Facebook is operating these days. If you're advertising, that could be up, 100%. That could be up 200%. Depends on how much you're paying, who you're targeting, and how well your ad is actually aimed at the people you're trying to reach. So I'm happy to answer that one-on-one with you, but unfortunately there's just so many factors that could change all the time for each of you. So we're a little over time now. I could spend so much time poking around analytics. The numbers look scary, but it's so fascinating to me. But unfortunately, I don't want to keep you guys too long. Victoria, please send me an email. I'd be happy to talk with you about that in private. So just as a recap, and then I'll go ahead and let you guys go, and I will also get dinner because it's 8 o'clock and I'm hungry. First off, stop focusing on the hard sell. People do not go online to be sold at. Social media is about connecting and communicating. Obviously, your product or your service is part of who you are as a business, so you can't, avoid talking about that entirely. That would be weird. But at the end of the day, your goal should not be, this is a sales tool, this is my best sales tool. At the end of the day, your goal should be connecting with your audience and communicating with your customers. So keep that in mind. Always keep in mind what motivates and interests your audience. Don't necessarily talk about what you like and what you want to hear about, unless you're your primary customer. Spend some time looking and talking and listening and seeing what they're interested in and give them more of that. And the only way you can figure that out is through trial and error. Try different kinds of content, try different posting times, see what works, see what doesn't. I have made some posts that I thought this is 100% going to be a flop. And it went insane. There's been a lot of posts that Marion has told me to make that I'm like, this is dumb. No one's going to like this. The numbers were off the charts. It was insane. And then there were other posts that I'm like, everyone's going to love this. It's cute. It's exactly what everyone loves. And I posted it and it went nowhere. And that could be for a huge number of reasons. I could have formatted something incorrectly. It could have been a really poor quality picture. I could have posted it at the wrong time when something else was going on. You know, if I want to talk about our street dances, I should not talk about those during the Super Bowl because everybody wants to talk about football, not street dances right now. So on that note, be creative. I have given you a lot of examples of things you could do, but don't try to replicate those exactly. Be your own person, be your own page. Get creative with what kinds of stuff you post and how you use the tool. Who knows? You might set the next trend. Make sure you customize your content and your audiences. Instead of trying to reach everybody all the time with every single post and therefore reaching nobody very effectively, it's okay to make a post that's specifically targeted towards older folks, and then make a post that is specifically targeted towards younger folks. I was talking to somebody once after one of these that said, well, I really have two main customers. I have the clients we serve, and then I have their families that might send them to us. Cool. Then don't try to make one post talking to both of those groups. Make different posts talking to those groups at different times. It is okay. You don't have to be everything to everybody in one single post. Regularly schedule time to improve your Facebook. You guys have taken a couple of hours out of your night this evening to join me for this, and that's wonderful. We have a lot more classes coming up. There are a lot of really great classes on the internet you can find. Some are free, some are paid. The library has a lot of really great classes that you can access for free through lynda.com if you go through the library's link. So there's so many tools out there that you can use to get better, but obviously you can also just spend time on the platform and see what's changed. Especially right now, so many things are changing. As I mentioned earlier, I'm beta testing the new Facebook layout so I can actually see how that looks. I'm doing that in my free time. They've just added a gift card program for businesses. They've just added promoting small restaurants, restaurant delivery on Facebook. They've added so many new things within this window due to the current climate, but things tend to go in cycles. Facebook will stay the same for an extended period of time, and then everything will change all at once. The only way you can stay on top of that change is by giving yourself time and permission to poke around and see what works and what doesn't. Use all of the tools available to you. I went through just a small subset. There are so many other tools out there. There's articles you can read, newsletters you can subscribe to, apps you can download that will make your life easier, make it more fun, and make your posts more interesting. So find the ones that make sense to you, find the ones that fit your style the best, and use them. You don't have to rough it on just Facebook. It's okay to expand outwards. Because really at the end of the day, you need to have fun with your social media. If it is boring and aggravating and like pulling teeth for you to use it, people are gonna pick up on that. If you hate Facebook, maybe find someone else to do it or find a way to make it fun for you. I will let you guys in on a little secret. I personally do not use Facebook. I made my first Facebook post 2 days ago for the first time in like a year and a half. I don't personally post on Facebook because it does not interest me. But I have fun with Facebook when I'm running pages for people because it's a different mentality. It's different kinds of content. And I've found a way to make it fun for me. So find a way to make it fun for you, even if you personally would never use Facebook. It is still a really good way to reach a lot of people until something else comes around the bend and steals Facebook's crown. So I will absolutely email this to everybody. I will email the slides and I will email the recorded video once I get it up on YouTube. Probably not until tomorrow because, as I said, it's late and I'm hungry. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for all of your really great questions. Usually I'd leave this open for questions if you guys have any, but we're already over time and I really want to be respectful of your guys' evenings. So if you have any questions that I did not get to tonight, please feel free to email me at the email that's on the screen here. I'm happy to help you guys however I can. So thank you guys. I know a couple of you guys have emails to me. I promise I've seen them and I will get to them very soon. I've just been swamped under other projects, but I will get to them as I am able. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you guys for your great questions. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll go ahead and end this.